Depending on your swimming ability and history, the length of the swim in your triathlon, and your desire to improve your swim, you'll need to devote some quality time each week to properly develop your swim. And quality time means not just putting in enough aerobic training to help you finish the swim comfortably. It also means devoting some time to your swimming technique so you swim smarter, not just harder. After a good warm-up of 400 to 800 meters, one of the biggest areas of improvement you can make in your swim time is often in developing your kick. Getting a fast kick is a long-term project involving increasing ankle flexibility, improving kicking technique by kicking tighter with a faster cadence, and learning to kick in both directions, which takes tremendous leg fitness. It's always a good idea to do some kicking without a board and practice streamlining at the same time. Kicking on your side is a good way to learn to kick in both directions. Since there's no longer an up or down kick, it'll enable you to feel the pressure on the water with your feet at all times. Never letting go of that pressure will help condition your legs and sustain your baseline speed while swimming. With a good kicker, there's never a moment's rest. The kick starts from the core down and keeps the knee bend relatively small to reduce drag. The feet push in one direction, then in the other, never ceasing to apply pressure or force on the water. Spending a small part of your swim practice time doing drills will also pay big dividends. The one-arm drill is one of the most important drills for setting up the underwater pull correctly. What happens in the very first few tenths of a second after the hand enters the water will have a huge impact on the rest of the pull. The most important thing to watch in the sequence is how the shoulder internally rotates. The hand drops directly below the elbow while the elbow remains very close to the surface. From that point rearward during the propulsive phase, there's just a slight movement of the hand toward the midline as it barely goes beneath the surface of the body. It isn't necessary to train often in open water. Most of your training should be done in the pool where you can monitor your speed and your stroke rates more accurately. Competing in the open water is very different than in the pool, and therefore requires that you train in the pool differently than for a pool race. One of the biggest differences is the need to vary your speed. In a pool race where you don't have to contend with the variables and challenges of the open water, you can establish and hold your pace throughout the race. Not so in the open water. You may find that there are times when you need to step up your pace considerably to improve your position. If you're a stronger swimmer, you'll likely need to swim considerably faster to get out in front of the pack, or to avoid a draft, or to catch a group that is leading ahead of you. Training with variable speed is an excellent way to prepare you for the open water race. Swimming 8 by 150s, for example, with the first 50 fast, the second 50 moderately fast, and the third 50 smooth, somewhere around 60 to 70% of your maximum speed, will help you become a better open water swimmer.
Nice, Holden. First 50, 27 with stroke rate of 110. Second 50, 29, stroke rate 78. And last 50, 31.5 with stroke rate of 65.
The right preparation begins by going to bed early, getting a good night's sleep, and setting your alarm early enough several hours before the start of the competition. Start to visualize yourself doing well. Take some slow, deep breaths. Stand up and stretch your shoulders, your lower back, and scapula. Think streamlined like a swimmer should. You should have your sport bag already packed from the night before with all the needed gear and nutrients for race day. Don't eat as much for breakfast as you would on a training day, but eat nourishing foods that you're used to. Begin to hydrate your body and continue hydrating it throughout the day. It's normal to feel a little nervous, and that will change your rate of digestion. You may not feel like eating, but you must eat. Arrive early to the competition site where you'll have plenty of time to park, evaluate the starting and transitional sites, prepare and test your equipment, and most importantly, warm up your body before the race. Always take a warm-up swim before your open water race, no matter how cold the water or what the conditions are. Ideally, you should warm up for 15 to 20 minutes, getting your heart rate up to where it will be during the race for a few of those minutes. Your warm-up should occur no more than an hour before the race starts. If the start gets delayed for any reason, then get back in the water and warm up again. Doing dynamic stretches, that is, moving the joints and muscles while simultaneously stretching them, is the best way to stretch on race day. You should dynamically stretch the ankles, hips, hamstrings, shoulders, and back. Take a few maximal breaths to fully expand and release air from the lungs. Push the air out from your core, feeling the strength that you've developed.